Today I'm going to talk to you about my Tutto Organizer. I keep all of my sewing notions in here that I use on a daily basis. It is something I leave by my sewing machine on my desk all the time. It's also easy to bring along with me when I go to my quilt retreats, or if once a month I join my friends and we have like a sew-in at a local quilt shop. So you can just carry it easily. It has two sides to it. I'll go over both sides. It has these little Velcro here, so when you're opening it, it doesn't slide all the way open. And it has the clear plastic so you can see everything that you're doing. Let me move it back. Oh, we can see it better. And so I'm going to flip this up. I'm going to clip this back so I can talk about the stuff that I bring with me or keep with me every day. Of course, I love, yeah, everyone has to have a rotary cutter. This is my favorite. It's an Olfa. It is easily, you pull that back to retract that guard, and then you can use it. It's, got a good hand. You can use it with your hand very well. And I love it because to change the blade is so much easier. You just have to pull this back, and the blade will drop out, and then you replace the blade and you pick it back up. It's really quick and it's not so scary when you're going to try to change the blade. So it's a good thing. And then I always bring a pair of just little scissors that I can cut paper with. I don't want to use my fabric scissors, and there's lots of times where you just need to cut something up when you're working. So I bring those. They're just small. And these, of course, are my fabric scissors. I love them. I got these so many years ago. They're Ginger. And they come in different patterns, you can just get them all plain, but you can also get them pretty fancy. And they come with its guard so that you don't ruin the blade at all. So I'll put those things back in there. And then I have this section here. This is really nice because it's kind of tight and things aren't going to go flying and out. In here I have a stiletto. I made these for Quilt Gilda one year when we were giving away gifts. So anyway, you can use that obviously when you're piecing and you want to hold on to the piece of little fabric and you so don't get your finger caught. And I have a pair of tweezers just in case something does get caught in there. You don't want to, it's really nice to be able to get down into there. Or if there's lint caught or something in your machine. I have the little snips. And there's a little guard on it. Well, you know what snips look like, but I keep the guard on it so I don't hurt myself. And I bring those, and that's what I snip my threads with when I'm sewing. A 1/4 inch guide. Well, of course, it's more than just a 1/4 inch guide, but sometimes when I want to check myself, I bring this with me. And I use these two different items when I'm ironing, and I don't want to burn my hand. Now this is actually meant to go into another iron that you can iron with. I just happen to like it because it has a little handle on it, and it's got a good point on it, and you can just hold your seams open as you're ironing so you don't have to burn your hand, which of course I've done. And the same is true with this item. It's just a wood one, and sometimes you just want to hold that point down or something. It's nice to have. And then this is just a chopstick, I think. And if you want to, when you're going to, how do you put it? You're going to put the points in. I couldn't think of what it was. I'm sorry. Like if you sew something and you turn it back inside out and then you want to get the points in it. That's just a nice stick to have, and sometimes holds things down. It's a good thing. I'll put all those back in. And my stiletto down so I don't hurt myself. And then, of course, everyone knows what this is. It's a seam ripper. Not that I have to use it that often, right? Anyway, it is a seam fix. And this is really nice because once you do your ripping, and then you get all those little frayed threads that you have, if you rub this on there, it'll pick up all those frays. And so it's really nice. It's a good tip on there. And then this is like a pen, that you use. It's an actual pen that you can write with, but it also has the end here, so if you have to use an electronic where you want to touch it, it's one of those tips on there. So if you're on your phone or whatever and you want to use that. And I just have a regular pencil and a regular pen to use, a highlighter, and then marking utensils. I have one white pencil. Sometimes you just want to do that, but I like these Frixion pens, and I just bring a couple of different colors so that no matter what I'm working on, I should be able to see it as I'm working. So now we'll flip it over. We'll close this back up. The Velcro helps it. I'll turn it around. I won't need this anymore. So now here on the bottom, I have my readers. You know, sometimes you gotta look in there and you gotta see what you're doing. So I just bring the cheap readers from, you know, at the drugstore. And then I bring a little bottle of Best Press. It is what I like to use. If you've never used it, you should try it. You can get a little bottle to give a sample, and then you're gonna wanna buy the bigger bottle because it's really nice. So that's that. And then I always bring my extra thread. This is what I piece with all the time. Like, unless I'm going to try to match a color of something, or if I'm working a lot in black, of course, then I'll use my black thread. But all in all, 90% of the time, this is the thread I'm using. It's an Aurifil that's 50 weight, and the number is 2310. And I have a little bobbin. If I have to run a new bobbin, this will keep the color with it, and I just keep them together just in case that I have to do that. And then I have these little alphabetties. They're little cards, like they're laminated, and if you ever try to pay attention or keep track of something that you're working on, if you need rows of things, or sometimes they do mark them as A, B, and C, and if they don't, I will mark them A, B, and C, and then I'll put that on top of my little pieces that I've cut so I don't get lost. And then in this section I have glues, and so I have the basted glue. It's Roxanne's. It has a really, let me open this up, pointy tip. You know, you take that cap off, and then it's easily to squeeze, and if you need to baste anything, glue baste anything, that's what that's used for. And then I have just a regular glue stick, because you never know when you might need something like that. And then I have two different kinds. This tape here is you can put on a ruler that's just kind of sticky, but it's easy to take off. And you can put it if you're always going to be cutting a certain size and you don't have to keep thinking or looking on the ruler to find it. You can run a little bit of this on there just so it catches your eye. And then of course you can just remove it when you're done, so it's not a permanent item that you would leave on there. They do have permanent ones that I use. They're on my rulers. So, but this is just like a temporary one. And then this one here is like a two-sided tape, and it's so you can peel it off on both sides. So if you want to hold a hem down, not that I hem, but even a seam down or something like binding, if you at an area where you want to, you know, really hold it down, you can put it, because you can sew through this. And this is called Wonder Tape. So I just kind of leave it in its little case so it doesn't get all gunked up. Put those back in. You can fit a lot in here, you can see. Put that back in the corner. And then on this rope, open it up, there's three separate sections. I bring a long measuring tape. I bring an extra rotary cutter blade, because if you're out at something and it's really getting dull, you'll have it right then to do. And then in this one here, I bring my extra needles for my sewing machine. And like I have the 80-12, the 90-14 top stitch, and the 90-14 quilting needle. So I bring all of those with me in case I have to replace my needle while I'm out and about. Bring my little brush to clean my sewing machine if there's lint and stuff in there. And then this one here is a little set of screwdrivers. One's a little bit bigger than the other, and they're magnetic. And so when you're trying to unscrew, it'll hold that, you know, the screw right with it when you take it out, and then you don't lose it like on your machine somewhere. And then, so anyway, those are pretty cool. I like those. I bring in extra bobbins. I have a black one, a white one, nothing on it bobbin in case I want to buy new thread and I want to run a bobbin. And those three are that same Aurifil because I use the top and the bottom the same Aurifil that I showed you earlier. And then on the top, I bring a little ruler. You never know when you're going to just need a little ruler. And sometimes you're marking things or whatever. And these are Creative Grids, my favorite rulers. If you're going to purchase a ruler, check into these. They might cost a little bit more, but they're so worth it because they have the little grippies on the back. And so it holds on to the fabric a little bit better when you're doing that. And this particular one, it says Love to Quilt, Time Remembered Quilting. It's one of my favorite local shops that I go to. And so that was a gift. That was nice of them. And in actuality, I didn't get that from them. Well, sort of from them. On my Quilt Guild, we did a mystery day, and this was the gift that we got. And then the last thing I have in here are two of these. And these are by Fons and Porter. And if you ever have to, like, mark for half square triangles, and they tell you to mark, you know, a 1/4 inch from each center seam, there's a point on them. Oops, sorry, there's a point on them. So you line that up in the corner of your block, and then you can see that line going down. You line that down so it runs to the other corner of the block or square, and then you can write on each side. That's a 1/4 inch away. So there's a short one and a long one. It comes as a set, and so those are really nice, and I use them all the time when I'm working on half square triangles. So again, these all snap with the Velcro. You can fit a lot in there. I'm sure there's probably more stuff in there that I could put in there, but this really does take care of everything I usually use. And so it's nice to have with me, and I don't have to fumble around and try to look for things in packaging. And like I said, it's very portable. You just pick it up. I hope this was helpful to you. I'll leave this information down below, so the name of not everything, some of the things, if I can think about it, I'll name them down there for you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. If you like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing many more on organizational tips for the sewing room quilting, and other items too. I'm not just a quilter. It's my major passion, but I do also make cards and just other DIY stuff that I work on. So hopefully you like this. Thank you.